So it's been 4 weeks since we received the final manuscript from the author himself, and it has been a full court press getting everything ready to go to publish this novel. Honestly, I never would have guessed how much went into publishing a novel. It's insane.
This is a lot. I'm losing my mind. Do you want anything, dude?
I'm good, thanks, man. Thankfully, Scribe has been unbelievable to work with. They are the best, and our point person with Scribe, Avery, has been holding our hand through this entire process.
Hi there, Daniel here. How's it going?
Hi, Daniel. I'm Avery. I'm head of author success here at Scribe.
We're really excited to get going.
So are we. We're really excited to work with you and share this crazy book with the world.
That's one way of putting it, yeah. I was hoping that we could just run through the process and what publishing a book actually entails. We're total newbies to this.
Yep, that makes sense. Let's just get right into it, okay?
Sure.
So there are 7 basic steps in total that we'll need to go over. First, we will need to finalize the manuscript. Then designing a book cover, finalizing the layout specs, the back cover, the inside flap copy, and recording an audiobook. After these basic stages, we'll move into the next phases of marketing and finally publication, what we all want.
Yep.
This is going to be about a 6 to 8 month process, depending.
Ooh, wow, okay. 6 to 8 months.
But let's go through each step.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
So our first step is going to be submitting your final locked manuscript and getting it under 100,000 words. That's our max recommended word count for a first-time author.
So currently the book sits at 115,000 words. So that's our target, 15,000 words. That equates out to about 60 pages, which is a lot to cut from a novel that Daniel and I are already very happy with.
Everything that isn't absolutely fucking essential, we gotta get rid of it. In the author's words, this is as good as he can possibly make it by himself. He really needed some objectivity. This story is the most humanizing. It's a shame that it comes at the end. If we move that to the middle of the book,
Yeah,
and so
I
if
like
we, and
that.
so if we do that, we can just start cutting pages as a result.
Each night, every morning, I'm spending tons of time with this text, getting into every single sentence, every comma, everything.
In bed with the author. That's my life right now. I wake up with the author, and then I go to bed with the author. This is a lot. This has really been taking up the majority of my time for the past month. Man, this is gonna take forever.
I'm a book lover, but not an editor. So it's been fun to wear that cap amongst the many other positions I've held on this strange project. Really like put ourselves in the author's shoes. What was he thinking at this time writing this? You know, like, okay, what can we just cut out?
Tyler, you know, he's been getting his hands dirty and getting into the manuscript with me.
Here on page 258, completely cut this entire paragraph out on
The
here.
board,
Again,
yeah,
it's just a tangent.
I've mostly agreed, with what he has suggested. It's Tyler. There's always a few dingbat suggestions every so often.
Yeah, Daniel says that until he thinks on them more and forgets that I came up with the ideas themselves, and then he thinks it's a great idea. Oh, TikTok content, we need to do TikTok content. Yeah, whose idea was that? He's on the phone with the man himself, going over our like recent wave of cuts, wave of edits.
I mean, that's gonna save us 9,000 words.
We're cutting the 9, and then we've already cut around 2,000.
We gotta streamline the drugs scene. I mean, that's gonna get us there.
And then once you send us that locked manuscript, our editor-in-chief will take 3 to 4 weeks reviewing your document, and we'll send over his feedback for any work that it needs. Okay, so now for the fun part, it's time to start designing your cover. We're going to begin by sending you a questionnaire that's going to help us capture the tone, the mood that you're going for.
What's the primary emotion you want your book cover to evoke in your target audience?
Curiosity, mystery, gay. The book is very meta.
Got
Meta.
that.
Okay.
Cover design has been my favorite part of this process.
What I like about this draft is the concept of a book in a book.
We just want the title to say everything.
Right, like
we don't need much else.
Yeah, just the author
Just
by
have-
the author provokes curiosity in and of
100%.
itself. This has been the funnest part of the experience so far. This book, The Last Samurai, I like this kind of portaling effect that it
Yeah.
has, right? Like it draws the eye to it.
You kind of have like the book in the book.
Oh yeah.
From there, our in-house cover artist is going to begin putting together some options for you.
So she took our responses from that questionnaire and sent us over tons of options. We had 5 rounds of edits.
One by one, we had selected the styles that we really liked, honed in on those, and whittled away. I feel really good about this. They nailed the Drust effects.
This is the one that's like out of focus,
Yeah.
which I'm not a huge fan of.
If this is on a book, then that's gonna be really tiny.
Yeah.
We need the authored by the author to stand out. So go back to the 3.
The most important thing is just don't take away or distract from the author by the author.
I would just lose the X. Anything that's over the author by the author, it hurts us more than helps us.
That is the best part of that cover, so I didn't want to put anything in front of it.
I mean, the one on the right's kind of cool, but honestly, the only thing is that it just doesn't capture our book. It's cool, it's just not our book.
Yeah.
And at the end, came up with this really cool meta book inside of a book cover that I think is eye-catching.
Draws your eye to the center, really just portals you into the book.
This is our cover.
I think this is our cover. I'm happy with what we do with this one. Give me a hug. Are we gonna hug it in? All right. We have a book cover, which is so fucking cool because this is the thing that we're gonna see in bookstores. The stakes are higher now because this is real. It's real.
Something that you're going to spend plenty of time on is all of the layout details.
This is like the boring part of the process.
These layout specs are one of those things that you don't notice when you're reading a book, but if they're off, you do notice it.
What color do the pages have to be?
Do you have any thoughts between white versus cream?
Yeah, my initial impression was cream, and this one is white. It's a little jarring. This is cream.
Yeah.
Cream's the way to go.
Yep.
What is the font and font size? How large of a book?
5.5 by 8.5 or 6 by 9.
This hardcover is 5.5 by 8.5.
I like
so we'll do 5.5, 8.5, because a
Great.
big paperback looks weird.
Yeah.
And this is also going to include calling out anything we should keep in mind during the editing process. So contractions, specific capitalizations, there's any spelling notes.
The author is always capitalized, capital T, capital A, when he's referring to himself. All instances of drugs, which there are many, always lowercase. That's just his preference. He likes to use minimal commas. Cormac McCarthy is a big influence.
Everything has to capture the personality of the author. There's just so much that I never thought about before. It's just laborious. Dude, this is taking so much goddamn time. Did you know all this shit went into making a fucking book?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's getting to be a lot. There are so many fucking moments where I'm just by myself, like either at night or in the morning. I'm like losing my fucking mind.
We have all of our specs down. We know the trim size, we know the font size, all of that, all sorted out.
So back cover and inside flap copy are often the difference makers for getting a customer to choose your novel over the multitudes of new releases in the bookstore.
It just catches on fire. This is all of the copy on the back of the book and on the inside flap of the book. The sole purpose is to get somebody to read the fucking book.
So we're going to start here by having you look at some examples from authors that you love. You're going to write out your first draft and you're going to send that over to us, and our copy editors will take it from there.
This is hard. I gave it a good stab. Scribe came back to us and they really just went for as generic as possible.
Derangement and debauchery, influencers and followers, lies, addiction, crime, and despair. These are the stepping stones to fame. Are you ready for the ride?
That flap copy was just not good.
It was very cheesy.
They took what I wrote and made it demonstrably worse.
In a way, though, it kind of really plays to what we're doing, you know? Like, all those themes are in it, but, you know, we play with it,
Yeah,
we
but
make a
it's just-
joke of it.
It's a fail.
But I like showing that it's a fail, you know? Like, what if we put that description on the back flap and we just put a fucking X through it or something?
Fuck this. Like we're graffitiing over it.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we really trying to say? What we're trying to say is, please read the book. We should just write in handwriting, like in a Sharpie, please read the book.
We're trying to say, read this shit so that you can read the book. We're begging you to read the fucking book, right? Like, that's the whole point.
What better message to have than just please read the book directly on it?
Tyler made that joke and I thought it was great. I thought it was probably the funniest thing that he's ever said, ever. Because he's not very funny.
That's coming from Daniel. Daniel say a joke, go, ha 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 ha. Yeah, yep. Heard that plenty of times from him. We know who the funny one is, Daniel. We know who the funny one is. That's our flap.
That's our fucking flat, dude.
That's our flap.
Yeah, fuck it.
This one's just going right for the ball, so squeeze him.
Every notable book has an audiobook, and we're really excited that you're going to use our team to record and produce your audiobook for you.
$2 billion was generated from audiobooks in 2022. A lot of people just access books through audiobooks. It's an important step, but it's a very expensive step.
This is gonna add an extra 10 to 12K to the final bill.
There's another thing the man's paying for.
Who is going to be your voice?
Oh yeah, the audiobook. Who's gonna read that?
Obviously, the author can't do it, so.
Well, you can hire a voice actor.
I've listened to audiobooks where actors read it, and it always feels so cheesy, like they're gonna try too hard.
We're not gonna do that. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'll read the audiobook.
This also starts to get in the slippery slope we've been in before of Daniel taking a little bit too much onto his schedule.
Just keep in mind that given the length of this project, you're going to want to block out 6 full days to do this. And reminder, they're going to be 6-hour sessions, and I'm assuming you don't really have a lot of audiobook experience or recording experience, so maybe let's say 8 hours.
6 days, 8 hours each.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take that and run with it. So we're gonna get a fucking audiobook with this one.
As if I'm not giving this project enough of my time. And not only am I representing this book, I'm going to be representing the author's voice. And this book is really dominating every facet of my life. It is completely taking over my being. And I hope that it's worth it.
Today is a huge day, biggest day we've had yet. We just heard back from Avery that she got the feedback from the editor-in-chief, the feedback we've been waiting on. So we scheduled a call with her in 30 minutes. Here's the news, Miss Lady.
Hi.
Hey.
So the editor reviewed the book, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're going to get right into it. Here's his review.
Okay.
This was certainly a wild, hallucinatory ride, but I'm sorry to say it just didn't work for me. From the /disclaimer, I understand his agent said it would be career suicide to put the book out. Obviously, he can't suffer any damaging consequences if people don't know who he is, but it doesn't mean the book won't face major blowback from its readers. And that's what I fear is going to happen. Not because we didn't fix this or that, but because of what the book is. To me, it comes across as very unappealing. I'd say it reads like an exercise in self-flattery. Yes, the author can write. There is also a real yuck factor. The problem isn't graphic content, but how it's all cloaked in the pretentious high art veneer. This is the approach that the author wanted to take, but it just makes it too easy for folks to hate on the book. I hope this gives you a better idea of where I'm coming from. Signed, Scribes Editor-in-Chief.
Okay. Well,
It was scathing.
He destroyed the book.
I know that this book isn't for everybody. Didn't think that he'd tear it apart to the point of suggesting that we shouldn't even release it. That's not good.
okay.
There are some things that might be worth changing based on our editor's response. Ultimately, it is your book, so it is your decision. We're not telling you that you have to change anything. But what we're really concerned about is more from a marketing perspective. So if you wanted to move forward with the marketing content mapping, this all does raise one very important question. Do we want to edit the book to make the author more likable?
When you say more likable, what do you mean?
So the sense that the editor got was that someone who reads this book is going to want to find out who the author is so that they can no longer support him.
Right. Like, as in cancel him.
Yes. As in, like, this is a very gross person and someone I definitely don't want to be affiliated with.
Right.
At least he said it was well written.
Does this book suck? Tell me, does this book suck? The book that we're spending all of our fucking time on, all of my money on? Am I crazy? I mean, fuck, I know I'm fucking crazy, but am I fucking crazy?
No, it doesn't suck.
This is their editor-in-chief.
Dude, I don't care who it was, the book doesn't suck. This was just Scribe telling us how they would do the marketing. That's it.
Are we overlooking something is all? That's my point. Are we too close that we're like overlooking the main piece of this? It seems problematic. That was it was scathing.
I don't know. It's a totally valid concern. I don't know. To put anything creatively out there that's really saying something, you're gonna have haters.
Where I've come to now is like, yeah, good, fuck you. You didn't get it. I know that we have a great fucking book. I know that this book isn't for everybody, and clearly the book is not for the editor.
Scribe is amazing for taking us through how to publish this book. What they're not here for is to provide creativity and marketing that we know we're gonna have to put into this project for the book to really succeed.
The fact that they didn't get the core tenet of the book doesn't leave me with a lot of hope that their marketing of it will be successful.
We're gonna have to brainstorm some ways to get this book out there.
To make this book a best fucking seller.
Book exchange ragers. But you got to bring a book to get in, and it's just like a huge party for literature.
We have to embed virality. Facebook, Instagram, give the first chapter of the book away for free.
You at a lemonade stand, but for the book. And we'll put it on like Rodeo Drive.
Buy a copy of the book, you're put into a raffle, you could win 5 or 10 grand.
That's sick.
The more copies you buy, the more raffle tickets you get.
Finish the book, pass it on.
A QR code.
A golden ticket.
Go viral on a college campus.
Put up a bunch of billboards.
Who's paying for that?
All right, no billboards.
We're not getting any help from the authors.
Okay.
No daddy, I'm daddy. Daddy's gonna take you out to dinner, but you know, he can't buy the entire city. That sounds like too much.
You know what we should just fucking do?
What?
We should make this entire thing. I know we're doing this as a show, but we should make the book into a show. We should make the author show, which again, that's what this is, but we do a show. An adaptation of the book, the author, his story, we bring it to life. Too close. You don't have to.
That's fucking amazing, dude! We do a show! Nobody fucking reads. What is the only medium that can capture people's attention? Streaming content! We do a pilot episode. This is what we do best. This fucking thing right here, I'm incredible on camera, you're not bad.
I don't like this look on your face.
This is insane.
Can you blink?
This is insane.
God. It is insane, but it's a really good idea.
I've been waiting for this moment my entire life.
I know.
You don't want to kiss
I'm not
me,
kissing you
please.
again. No.
This is good, man. I'll kiss you instead.